Hey, what's up, guys? This is your Three Terrible Gamers here with your host, Sebastian, also known as Coldfish. And then I'd like to introduce the co-hosts, Ashton and Colin.
Hey guys,
Hey, what's going on today?
And today we're going to kick it off with a little bit of your favorite handhelds. What do you think, Ashton, about what's your favorite handheld?
my favorite handheld of all time is the Game Boy Advance SP. I love clamshell design and just all the games that was on it. I have so much nostalgia for that system. Me and my brother, we'd always play and share games, and we'd always play a lot of, like we talked about last week, Super Mario
Oh,
World.
yeah, I was
And
about to say that's one of the ones that are compatible with the GameCube, ain't it? Like the game itself.
Yes.
yeah, it is. And along with, I believe, Four Swords Adventures or Four Swords, something like
Oh,
that.
wow, nice. All right, what about you, Colin? What's your favorite handheld?
My favorite handheld for nostalgia purposes would definitely be the Game Boy Advance. I never got the SP. Like Colby had it, and I just never did really enjoy it. Like I said, I like my OG Game Boy Advanced, and that's pretty much it. Now, in current times, I'd much rather have to switch when it's in handheld mode comparing to that.
Now, the Advance, I had the original Advance as well, but when I got my SP, for some reason, my mom made me get rid of my Advance. She said I didn't need both, but I hated that. And I still hate that. And I want my Advance back, but it's gone.
Nice. It's not like you could elect any of your consoles or anything.
Yeah,
All right.
just miss it.
Well, I was about to say my favorite handheld, strictly because of the amount of times I played compared to like either the Game Boy, Switch, or anything like that, was my 3DS. Because I played on the DS a little, but I mainly played on the 3DS because I played this Pokemon on, I think it was like XY or something like that. Because I
Yeah,
played it for all day, every day. and
I like the
it
3DS.
was,
I played a lot of 3DS games. You'll hear more about my 3DS days later, but yeah, it was a good system.
Yeah, I never did play the 3DS. I got the 2DS instead since it was cheaper.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
didn't fold up.
I was about to say, I got my 3DS, Colin. If next time I see you, I'll give you a bunch of games and let you play it.
All right, I still haven't even played Ocarina of Time since Ashton got it for me on the system, just because right
Oh,
around whenever I started moving and everything else, so I just haven't got to sit down and play it yet.
You don't even
well,
have to buy the games. I can mod it and get you the games. I mean, I've done it to mine.
yeah. All right. Now let's swing it back more towards favorite games. What were your favorite handheld games?
My favorite handheld game was Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. I told you you'd hear more about it, but I love that game. Just the 3DS, it was a handheld, but it had the power to be more of a home console type, you know, it had home console type games, I guess. Mario Kart 7 was a huge game to be on a handheld, and I just loved playing it. It was so much fun. I beat it 100% of it.
Yeah, I would say I played a lot of Mario Kart as well on my 3DS. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
pretty good game, but it's not my favorite. One of my favorite 3DS games is more towards the I'm pretty sure it was called Boomerang. And literally you had these different style boomerangs that would switch and it were interchangeable throughout the gameplay. And they all had like different perks or like different abilities, and you had to go through and battle things and get towards the end of a map, kind of like your quote unquote Mario as you would travel through the levels.
Right.
But so I will say I never got to beat the game because I could never beat the boss because there's an Easter egg in the game which is supposed to help you beat the boss, and I could never find the Easter egg. I literally played around so much, and I glitched out the game several times trying to find it.
Did you look up any guides?
No, because I never went back to like think about because this is like probably my fifth grade year, and mom really didn't let me mess with her computer unless it was for schoolwork.
Yeah.
What about you, Colin? What's your favorite handheld game, man?
My favorite handheld game. Well, I mean, we've already gone over my handheld games pretty much in the last 2 weeks with Super Mario World Advanced and then Breath of the Wild, obviously. But I decided to choose a third option since we've already talked about those two titles quite a bit on here. And I'm going to go with Super Mario Maker.
Wow, I actually didn't. I actually completely forgot about that game. If I'm honest with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, growing up playing Mario and obviously got into Zelda in later years, but growing up playing Mario and then having all these different options of gameplays, difficulties, different, level designs, even, making your own levels was just a new thing to the ballgame for it. And I mean, I prefer going there and, cussing out the system because I can't get past an expert level on the first two tries.
Well, I will say I thought it was a great thing when they made it to where you could create your own levels, especially on a handheld device, because that takes so much extra work, but they made it possible. Because they
Yeah.
could have just said, "Screw it, y'all get the game, and that's it. You don't get to touch anything, you don't get to edit anything. It's it."
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting on a Zelda Maker. Now they kind of touched on it in Link's Awakening remake. They had you can design your own dungeons, but it's levels from current dungeons. You can't really make your own dungeon from scratch. So I'm still waiting on that.
That would honestly be pretty cool, but you have to think it would become so hard to create your own dungeon
It would.
because yeah, I'm about to say you could create it because you've played the game enough, Ash. Because I know you have played through almost every Zelda that I know of,
Yeah.
and so in my opinion, I think you would over create it. I think you'd make it way too hard, and you'd get mad because you could not pass
Oh, I'd pass it. Maybe I'd post it online. Other people could, but I could pass
it.
I'd find a way.
Hey, we got a halfway live here. Sierra won't say it, but she said her favorite game, fourth terrible gamer of this podcast right now, is the for handheld would be the micro Game Boy and the Donkey Kong game that came out on it.
Actually, I know exactly what she's talking about. I have that game. I have the Donkey Kong. Okay, what made me so mad about it is that I could not get past the second level. I kid you not. I threw it. I threw my handheld across the room. But to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure the first time I lost and I got mad, I dropped it. It like straight dropped the handheld. And my mom asked me what was wrong with me. So I told her, I was like, "You ever seen a monkey before?" I was like, "They get so irritating."
But he was talking about the Game Boy Micro. I never had one. I wanted one, and if I'm not mistaken, they have interchangeable faceplates.
Yeah,
Sierra's mouthing you in the background. She said she always beat it, but she also knew about the micro, because me and Ashton, we had no clue until Sierra actually mentioned to us one day.
Yeah, and I've
nice.
I've seen them online, but yeah, I never actually held one and played it. I do know they're not backward compatible with Game Boy or Game Boy Color games like the Advance is.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure. I think Mimi and Dad might have one
Hmm.
because that's how I got to play it was because as Mimi had one. It was because she said she enjoyed it while she was playing college or whatever. Well, going through college. I
Not while in class.
oh, oh yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know what type of student he was. All right, Colin. What was your first handheld game?
My first handheld game.
Yeah.
My first handheld game was Super Mario World Advanced. What separated it from the SNES predecessor, hence the remake from last week, was the fact that you could switch between Mario and Luigi.
Mhm.
Did you like Luigi? Are you a Luigi guy?
I am a Luigi guy just because growing up, my favorite color was green. So
Okay.
my
Okay.
color scheme better. Hence, if you haven't noticed, all my favorite sports teams have a green tint to them in some way, shape, or form as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can
And
see that.
Luigi jumped higher.
Yes, Luigi could jump higher on there as well. So it not only helped on normal jumps, but whenever you
Mm,
decide to take off flying when you're flying cape, you could fly further too.
that's because he's taller and he's like he's like the brother that no one really wants, but is necessary to have.
Oh yeah, and especially in today. I mean, like today's titles and everything else, because he's pretty much ever since. I'm not going to say that title, but the Mario Bros. On the Wii, he's pretty much been an interchangeable force since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but I will say Luigi's Mansion. Those are some pretty good games, and they don't even really include Mario play at all.
No,
So
because
I actually enjoy like the original Luigi Mansion. It was I enjoyed it a lot.
It's my favorite one out of the three. But three is better than two, I'll say.
yeah, but two was released
I
held.
yeah.
Yeah, it's also on the 3DS.
If I'm not wrong, I think I have the original Luigi Mansion for the
GameCube.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have it.
I know I do.
Well, it's been
No, you don't.
forever.
No, I get back to Ashton after
Yeah. I'll say, no,
years.
you don't.
Ashton, what's your first game ever played?
Handheld game. My first handheld game ever played was Tetris on the original Game Boy. And the only reason, obviously, the original Game Boy was way before my time, but my dad, he had it when he was in Egypt in the army and he played Tetris. So he gave it to me when he came back. And I love playing that game. I was actually playing it last night, and still the music makes me so sad. I don't know why. I know why, but I'm not going to explain on here. It makes me so sad, but it's a fun game. And everybody plays Tetris.
Nice. I was about to say Tetris was an okay game, but I never really got into it.
I
That
It's
was
love it.
just a puzzle
Oh,
game.
shoot, I still on the
yeah.
Switch. I played Tetris 99 on there.
Yeah, it's fun playing Tetris
They
99.
yeah, they should have made it like Tetris 69 instead. It would have been way better.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
They
All
did
right.
have Mario 35,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they discontinued it. It was a fun game. I wish they had left it.
I don't know why they discontinue new games. Like especially after they've already been released. Why not? It's out there. Just leave it out there. You know.
Maybe they'll bring it back sometime, but you'll have to pay for it. Maybe that's why.
Guarantee it.
Maybe.
Nintendo's gone to Nintendo.
And they deserve it. I mean, they make good games. I don't care to pay for them.
Nah, but sometimes things are expensive, and I'm broke.
Yeah, you never see a Nintendo title drop below uh
Like
$40.
$40.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say
$40.
40
Yeah.
bucks across the board. All
The
right,
remakes or
so
remasters usually $60.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was about to say that I was literally just about to bring up about how the remakes are always is like 59.99.
Full price.
Yep.
It's like you got to pay more for the remake just because they were like, yeah, I did this. How you feel about it?
We're done all this work. You're going to pay for it.
Even though half of it we just pulled the port and then just build up from the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, guys. Now The next topic is a little bit more challenging to kind of do because you have Game Boy versus DS versus the Switch with the pros and cons and the moderation and the compatibility for your type of gameplay. So everyone might have a different answer, but how do you rank them, Ashton?
In
And tell me,
order from my favorite personally, you got to go with the Switch up top because it's the more modern. You have so many games, but you don't have Game Boy games on it. So second for me would be the Game Boy, surprisingly, because I all the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, I just played them more than I did the DS line. I didn't have a DS or a DSi. I did have a 3DS, but I didn't get it into them as much. So that's how I would rank them personally.
okay, and then while you're on that and you have the ranking, tell me what the pros and cons are from the comparisons. Like for instance, the Switch, you have a way bigger screen than the Game Boy, pros and
Yeah.
cons like that. Why don't you touch on that on your opinion? Because I'm sure we're all going to have some of the same, but very different as well.
Well, the pros on the Switch are it's hybrid. You can play it on TV, you can play it in handheld, which is awesome. I love it. Cons, it's to today's standards, it's a weak system. It's not as powerful as the current gen. Other systems like the Xbox One or the PS4, especially not powerful towards the Series X or the PS5. So in power, that's a con for me for the Switch. And cons for the DS. Like I didn't really have one, but I played them. I love the dual screen, but I know some cons are some games didn't really take advantage of both screens. Like the bottom screen, a lot of times was useless on
Yeah.
some games, and while the top screen, you just played on it. So that's some cons. Some pros is the dual screen was pretty cool when they used it. You could use it for a map, you could use it for different items and Zelda games. I did not like the Zelda games on the DS because you use the stylus to control Link, which I think sucked. I'd rather use
Mm,
the D pad.
yep.
Even though both of those were the predecessors to Wind Waker as well, the sequels.
Yes,
Hmm.
they were sequels to Wind Waker, which I would love to play them, but I just can't do the stylus thing. I don't like that. And the Game Boy, the whole Game Boy line, I'm not going to touch on just one generation. The whole Game Boy line, pros would be, it's the some of the first handheld games, game systems. So it was a mind blowing thing to have a game in your hand and not on a TV. And it's just pretty cool that way. But pros, those are the pros. Cons for the Game Boys, the battery life wasn't the best on any of
Yeah,
the
it was
generations.
it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
You'd
And
be
up
like
to the
maybe an hour and a
SP,
half in.
yeah. And up to the SP, from the Game Boy to the Advance, you had to have AA batteries. The SP was the one that introduced rechargeable batteries. And the AA's get expensive if you're running through them, playing Tetris or, Super Mario World or something.
Oh no, I mean, I'm still using AA batteries on my Switch just because I prefer to have an actual controller than the actual thing that they gave you with the Switch.
Yeah. But my Pro controllers are the official ones, so they are rechargeable. But I know you have, what is it, PowerA?
I think PowerA, it's whichever one has a Zelda design on it.
Yeah, thanks, PowerA. Which PowerA make good controllers too. You just
Yeah.
gotta buy batteries for them.
We're probably pretty
Wait,
much turning into like a Nintendo podcast because all of our handhelds that we've mentioned so far has been Nintendo related. Not one of us has ever mentioned the PSP or anything of those.
uh, I've never
That's
played the
coming later.
PSP. Yeah, I've never played the PSP.
If we get to the
But
topic later, it's coming for me.
all right. But hold on. I have to say something. Colin, how did your pro controller go dead when you can't get docked? If you dock, Sierra is whipping you. It's a fact. Sierra is straight pulling out her whip and bending you over and smacking you.
I don't need a whip anymore.
Oh, she uses her
He's
hands. She
already
says she gets up in
he's
there with
already trained.
handy.
He's
That's
already
right.
trained. She don't use the whip anymore.
Already
She
broke.
don't have
That's right.
to. Okay, Colin. Rank the hand systems from Game Boy, DS, and Switch. Which ones?
I'm going to go with Switch for overall capabilities and titles, just because obviously you can go back and get any old title you want with the Switch. While the Game Boy is still stuck on everything else. Now, how you was with the PSP, I technically never played. I mean, yeah, I said I had the 2DS, but as far as the actual DSs go, that's the only one I ever had. I mean, I seen other people playing around me, but I just never really did get into it. And like I said, I really haven't played that 2DS all that much. So I don't really have much to say for the DS because I'm not the one to be able to judge it because, like I said, I never really did play them. Because by the time I got the 2DS, I already had a bunch of normal consoles to play, and that's what I always chose to play over top of handhelds. So for the DS, it has to go last for me, just because, like I said, I can't really say much on topic on it. And then the Game Boy series with the advanced, I played an SP because Ashton had it, my brother had one. So I mean that, but for me, the Game Boy Advance, reason why it comes in number two is because if it was any type of anything other than daylight outside, you had to attach that little stupid light on top, and then
So
hope
you
Mhm.
could
the
see
wires,
to
yeah,
play.
hope that you could see the screen.
Because it was the screen was so dim. It it really was like because
It didn't
trying
have a
to
backlight.
sneak, yeah, trying to sneak to play that game while people are asleep, the hardest thing to do.
Well, the hardest thing you do is turn it on while someone's asleep because it's louder than turn on an Xbox or a PlayStation in today's time.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say it has that little music. What is it? Ding, 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 or something like that.
Yeah, the Switch is quiet to turn on. I mean, yeah, you got to hit the same button 3 times, but that ain't that loud. But yeah, that Game
No.
Boy, it's like a
Yeah, I was about
phone.
to say
Turn it on.
Colin knows about the button because he's like, I gotta watch for Sierra, make sure she don't come in here.
Hey, I got to
Okay.
get in gaming when I can.
Right.
Understandable. Understandable. Well, personally,
Oh, now, I might be a good gamer if she let me play more instead of a terrible.
no,
Instead of terrible.
there's definitely no hope in that, Colin. She would whip you down before you thought about becoming a good gamer. Just a quick shout out. Colin's wife Sierra is her nickname is C Nuts. You have to call her C Nuts in any comments or anything that y'all want to talk about her.
That is true because she loves that name so much.
Yeah.
She's in. It's her destiny to become C Nuts. She's the nuts of the sea.
That was by the sea.
Yeah, lives by the sea now. Well,
Yeah.
as I was going to say, personally, the Switch is ranked number one, and one of the reasons it's ranked number one for me is because I'm more of a console player. So the ability for me to go from handheld, so I can go take a dump, because I get some mean dumps. My stomach be rolling. So you said no, you plant and with it hooked up like a console, and you're like, oh no, I got a feeling. Oh wait, it's coming out. So then you're rushing to the bathroom with the handheld in your hand. It's way better than just being able to sit up as a console. So it's one of my best favorite features because it has a longer battery life than what I remember on the DS and on the Game Boy.
Okay.
But mine's a little bit different than y'all's on the number two. I'm saying the DS because I played the 3DS so much more. I only played like 4 or 5 games repeatedly. Like I tried other games, but I only played 4 or 5 of them repeatedly, just switching them out. But there was definitely 100% a con to where when this is at the time when I was supposed to be having glasses. When I turned the 3DS all the way up, oh, sometimes I would get a migraine because the game was not meant to be 3D, but I did it anyway. So definitely, I swear, I think I did more damage to my eyes than I did to fix it. Holding the DS like 2 inches away, and I hated the stylus. There were some games I tried to play with the stylus. I hated the stylus on any DS. It just wasn't my thing, you know.
And a couple games just realized that as well. Like that was the core function of the gaming.
Yeah, like you can't make your game depend off some. Dude, I lost mine several times. I had to go buy new ones all the time because I
Yeah,
just
they were easy to
I
lose.
hated stylus. Yeah, because they slid out. Because I guess
Hmm.
mine was just hollowed out. I swear, it's like someone ran through my DS and that sucker did not stick in there. It slid out like a hot dog down a hallway. Terrible.
Oh shoot!
Now on the Game Boy, it's last, but it was a good system. I just got more into the DS, and one of the cons about the Game Boy, as I said, was the lighting. Some of them were so dim, even after they got the backlight up onto them, it still wasn't that good of a gameplay for me. I don't know if I was just too blind to actually play the Game Boy or what, but it was terrible because I would always try to sneak it at night or something like that. And, I'd switch it on and loud noise. I'm sitting there waiting to come and get smacked upside the head because of the music. But then I was like, oh, they can't see the light and neither can I. So half the time I had to like play whatever level or of any game I was on like 5 or 6 different times because I could not see the full screen.
And that's why you couldn't beat Donkey Kong.
Now Donkey Kong, I tried it. The day I got it, I literally tried it for like 4 hours straight and did not. It went nowhere. I just don't know if I just couldn't pick up on the patterns because Donkey Kong is based off of pattern based
Huh.
style play.
We discussed last week. Any older game really is pattern based. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you truly think about a lot of the newer ones, maybe not so much like
Live action games.
open world. Yeah, I was about to say your big open world games even have pattern based programs inside of them. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
you're fighting a boss or if you're fighting a just a commentary or anything like that, it's always pattern based because their attacks are like on a repeat of this set schedule, you know. But what is your favorite multiple platform game?
Mine is Rocket League, Dead by Daylight, and Warframe.
You play Dead by Daylight?
I've played it. I played it with you guys at Ashton's house before. But as far as owning it, no, I haven't owned it. But the time that we was playing it, I absolutely enjoyed it. And I mean, I'm into horror movies, anything. So I mean, that's basically what that game is. You're just playing a horror movie out.
Yeah, but why didn't I know this? I literally just recently got Dead by Daylight back onto the Switch
It's on the
because I
Switch.
had it. Yeah, I had it on. Yeah, oh yeah, it's on sale right now. It's on a huge sale.
Okay, I might actually download and play with you guys then.
Yeah, yeah. I would literally. I told Ashton about it because where I bought it, he can kind of cheat the system and get it, you know, because my profile's on his Switch.
Oh,
But so,
we're in the same
but the
family system.
point, yeah, yeah. But so I love that game on Xbox, but coming back over onto the Switch, I'm interested to see how it plays, you know.
Oh yeah. My Rocket League is probably my top one on there. I mean, I know there's Fortnite too and everything else, but Rocket League to me that was I mean, I played it well before Fortnite came out and I just always enjoyed the idea of having a car and then hitting a big old gigantic ball and trying to score goals on people.
You know, you like to run into balls, big ones.
Like the him in the hole was every difference.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna say this. I don't consider a Fortnite a good game to compare to because the only handheld that I know you can play it off of is like a phone, and that I don't like that. You know, it's not. It's still a gaming technically handheld, but I don't consider it a true handheld, a phone. You know.
Oh no, no, it's not. I mean, yeah, you can play certain games on there. I mean, pretty much any you versus 100 type of situation game, Fortnite, Apex, PUBG, any game along those bases you can. Which I mean, they
Oh
recently
yeah,
Call of Duty and I think Diablo as well.
yeah, but to be honest, I mean, even on your phone now, I guess you could consider it a quote unquote handheld
And
if
right,
you're
yeah,
using like some of the packages that they have that you can add on to your phone
oh yeah,
that makes them like a controller.
well, like I said, at this point you can even get emulators for your phone too, so it's not that far of a stretch calling your phone a console anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's because of how much technology has advanced, man. It's wild. Okay, let's get back to our topic. Ashton, what is your favorite multiple platformed game?
Well, I didn't know he was going into the modern, but I had a older game. Collins played this with me. My favorite multiple platform game, handheld and console, is Ben 10 Protector of Earth for the PS2 and the PSP. That's the two systems I played it on. It was
I've
so
never
much fun.
played it on the PSP.
I never knew it existed.
It's
PSP.
it's the exact same game. Sometimes they nerf the handheld version, but no, it was the exact same game as it was on the PS2, and it was so much fun being able to play it on both and compare my progress between the two.
I mean, at that point, any of us could have been boring and, brought up any Madden or 2K was cross platform for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
That's
mean it's kind of
helpful.
a generic thing because it's always been, you know.
Oh, yeah. Any console that exists, I mean, they try to get EA or 2K tries to get them out on. But yeah, Ben 10, I didn't know it existed for the PSP.
yep, sure
No,
did.
I didn't either.
Actually not me. So it's, one of those things where there was only two games I played on the PSP. Well, not counting Ashton's, and that was Daxter. But there was on Colby's, there was always LA Midnight Club, which was a racing game. And then there was, I think, Madden 10 or NCAA 10, one of those two.
I had Madden 10 as
Wow.
well on the PSP.
That's a flashback. 2010. That's been a while.
Been 13
Yeah,
years on Madden standards
Yeah.
yep. It come out a year early.
because the new Madden comes out, I believe, next week.
But hey guys, I think that's all the time we got for today. There's a whole nother topic that we're gonna touch on next week. Check it out next Tuesday. It's gonna drop. Big shout out to Ashton. He's been doing a lot of the work. He's been going through and fixing our stuff right for YouTube and all of our platforms. Big shout out to Colin. Colin had some good ideas throughout the week. And thanks for C-Nuts for chiming in this week as a little kind of special guest mid game. C-Nuts, you want to kind of say hi?
You're welcome. Everyone will love me.
Not really. I mean, we all kind of forced ourselves to let you in here. You're not like a fourth terrible gamer. You're like 3.5 terrible gamers. You're like a half.
If she was a little bit better at Call of Duty, you'd be right in there.
I am the terrible gamer.
Yeah, I was about to say she's the legitimate terrible gamer. We're
That
defense
Warzone, it
games.
was rough.
That suicide out of this helicopter. I went home there.
But that's probably about it. Join in next time. Big shout out to our Instagram, Three Terrible Gamers. Go follow and everything. Go comment. We'll answer back as soon as we can. But for that part, we're out.
See you guys next week.
Later, guys.